I think of learning as freedom, and I think of that not just as freedom from ignorance or naivete, but freedom from dogma, freedom from the way people do things in status quo, and then also even freedom from yourself. When you're able to continue learning, there's so often I've been able to look back at my life and say, shake my head or smack my forehead at something that I used to do that I've learned my way out of. And that is why learning is enlightenment to me, is that it never stops. It broadens my horizons. I continue to better myself, and it can address all those aspects of my life. I don't know if there's a more important quality of life, right? Like there's learning in our relationships, there's learning in our relationship with ourselves and our relationship with our community, and that when people get static, I think that dynamic aspect of growth stops. I think that sense of dogma sets in, and I think it's up to each generation to push the boundaries of the way we think about things, and how do you do that other than with learning and with exploring with the mind. So I read a study a couple days ago about genes, and I love reading studies about genes and health. I'm very into exercise and curious about my diet, and this study showed that they took participants and separated them into two groups and studied the genes, but they didn't tell them the results. And what they were looking for were a particular set of genes that show you're predisposed to digest things well, or exercise well, or be athletic. And so then they came back to the two groups, and one of the groups they told them, you have the good genes, and one of the groups they told them, you have the bad genes. This didn't correspond to them. They lied. And then they performed a bunch of physical tests. And what they found is, having performed physical tests before telling them this and after, that their mind actually determined the results, not their genes. That when they thought they had the bum genes, they didn't do so well. Their aerobic rate was lower. Their sense of what they wanted to eat and how much was worse. And when they were told that they were athletic, they performed better and they ate better. And that's just so inspiring to me, because we do hear a lot about science right now, and there's kind of a leaning towards we're predisposed to be a certain type. But that helped remind me that so much of it is really about our outlook and how we believe in ourselves.